Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Templars Talk number 29 this time. And we have a lot to talk about because we've seen a lot of shows. Yeah. So,
Yes.
maybe let's start with that. And I can say the first evening I went to see shows for this episode, I went to see Leaves Eyes with supports. A lot of supports, to be honest.
A lot of support, yes.
Yeah. What can I say? A bit too many supports, I think.
But a mix of genres.
That's two. But I think they were truly financing their tour by bringing in the support bands who are, for people who don't know, a lot of support bands buy in. They pay money to go on tour with bigger names. So, yeah. This was clearly the case because a lot of it didn't make sense. The first band I've seen was a German band, and they played a bit like melodic, black-ish kind of metal. And they were called Verderbnis. Yeah, they were quite young as a band. I think they released maybe 1.5 years ago their debut album, and that comes with a quite generic sound. Like, it was okay to listen to, but it didn't surprise me. Didn't bring anything that I haven't heard before. So I was totally fine with that being over quite fast. It just didn't surprise me whatsoever. I think the second band was much more interesting for people to see. They have like a lot of energy. Like their name was Project Renegade, and I think they were from Greece, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they were having a bit of that cyber look if you look at them at first, but it has a slight industrial metal sound behind it, but not fully. It's also quite melodic sound. And they were just jumping around, going crazy. Yeah. They were really luring in the audience for their sound. So that was very interesting to watch. The band itself, they also reached out to me afterwards to talk. Yeah, I can say that I enjoyed watching their show. It's like one of those support bands that even if you don't like the genre, you're like, yeah, okay, that's nice, cool. So, yeah, Project Renegade, nice to watch. The third one was called Ater, whatever you want to say. It's black metal. I think they were from Chile. And I kind of liked them a lot. But the problem is they had to get their set cut short after like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh.
How did that happen when you have 5 bands in only limited amount of time, huh? If so, I think these guys were probably the easiest to bully by the tour manager to quit it up a little bit faster instead of the other ones. Because they're very nice and calm, and they were just I talked to them afterwards, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're just here, and we kind of just see how it goes. We just have to figure it out and such." And I was like, "Okay, but you guys gotta stand up for yourself a little bit more because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, you guys probably paid a lot of money for this, and yeah, I don't get it because I really like their sound. They're quite static to watch, but a lot of black metal bands are, of course. So that's the thing. But the sound that comes over you is really thick and full, so to say, and you could really feel the pressure behind it. So I liked that a lot. But also, it's quite a difference if you have first the Project Renegade, which is like jumping around crazy, hyperactive, and then you have a very static black metal band after that. So, I mean, yeah, that was quite something. I felt sorry for them having their set cut short because
Yeah.
For my personal opinion, they were one of the best ones of today. And that goes even beyond Leaf's Eyes. So,
Yeah, that's... Oh.
but yeah, on the other hand...
And then you saw only 20 minutes.
Yeah, I would have loved to see more, but yeah.
Wow.
I know that they will be coming back later this year. I think I have to... Was it with? I don't remember. A bigger name, at least. In May, I think. I think in the North Finale, if I remember. But we'll certainly see some more of them during the season, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, then off to see the next formation. It's a Russian band, Nytt. I must say I'm a bit shocked with how they were perceived by the audience, because earlier this day I saw that there is the band Celeste or something that they announced like a Russian tour, and they get completely cancelled on Facebook for people because apparently anything Russian needs to be cancelled nowadays, even though musicians
I saw that too.
have nothing to do with politics whatsoever. They have no say in it. They don't even have to agree to it, but apparently they do have to be cancelled for it. But
yeah, I saw that too. A little strange.
I found it kind of strange that they were kind of welcomed where another band gets cancelled. So yeah, what kind of weird. In any case, they're doing this traditional folk sound, I think. They have the sound of Siberia in it, whatever that means. A lot of throat singing, some homemade instruments. Yeah, but I'm not completely into this myself as a genre. And I think the throat singing was cool. At some point I was a bit bored with it, because it's, I don't know, it's not my thing. I know other people were kind of hypnotized with it or so. At least so it looks like if I looked behind me. As a show, quite intimate in a way. I think most comparable maybe Heilung, if I would have to mention a name. But at some point for the throat singing, it can be a bit deceptive. I was looking at her. I was like really in the front row, and the lady was quite close to me, and I looked up and I was thinking, is this even live what she is doing? Because I can see her lips, and it doesn't quite match with what I'm hearing all the time. The timing seems off, but I know the throat singing isn't really, not that clear to see. And she also has a lot of fringe in front of her face, so it's not that obvious for people standing a bit further away, I guess. But for me, I was really like trying to see some parts. I was like, yeah, now I get it, but that part I'm not sure what's going on, if this is live or not. I'm not completely sure how that is done. It's very deceptive this way, so that's...
Yeah, but I can imagine as well, because, the sound is not coming from the front of your mouth, but from the throat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to make certain movements for...
Yeah, but the lips aren't that active, if you know what I'm saying, right?
It's like you're watching a clip and it's like a few seconds late, and
that, basically. So but that's just my perspective, because I've been paying attention to it. I think the majority of the people can't even see that because of all the fringe in front of her face, and neither they don't seem to care whatsoever. But I must say it's interesting to see them with all these instruments that clearly, they know what they're doing. They're very minimalistic in their setup. I think for long sets, it was a bit too much for me, because at the end it's like too much of the same.
They should have given a little bit of time to the band before them.
I think so. But this genre is getting quite big, so obviously they get the advantage of that. It's quite trendy, so yeah. I think they did a good show. Let's not be wrong about that. It was a good show, but I'm like, for me, it's not really my kind of thing. I know that a lot of the audience liked it, so that's good, I guess. Well then, headliner Leaves Eyes. Wow. I haven't seen Leaves Eyes for quite a bit. I think the last time I saw them was still with Liv Christina. And let's not get into that drama that occurred with it too much, because that's far behind them now, I guess.
Yes.
But see, it was good to see them here. They have this really Viking theme going on. A lot of people on the stage, quite chaotic, a bit too much, maybe, for the small stage. I think for a festival, this is amazing because everyone has the space to take their time and do what they want to do. But now everybody's just standing behind everyone. Then somebody walks to the front and try to be in front of that person and that person and that person. It's like, oh my god, what's going on? Like you kind of want to see it as a whole, but you can't see it as a whole. Even at the end, I went standing in the back, and I was still like, yeah, I feel like I missed the most of it because everyone is all over the place. But what they do really well is bringing a show. They reach out to the audience. At some point, there comes this guy, Alexander Kroll, with a huge sword and a helmet, and then he's reaching over the audience. And yeah, that was nice to see. I think it adds to the theme that they have. That was really nice. But I also liked at some point they decided to do vodka shots with the audience. They were handing out shots. So that's good, I guess. They stated very clearly it was Finnish vodka that they were doing. I was standing really near the bar at that point, and I saw the people at the bar being like, what the fuck? What are they handing out alcohol? I'm like, yeah, that's... They probably didn't think that through very much, because we have laws that you have to be careful not to give it out to minors or something. So the people at the bar were like, should we say something? They didn't. They let it happen. But I think in the end there were not really minors in the place anyway. It seems to be a quite older audience that came to see them. And I must say I didn't know all the songs that much because the last couple of years the album has been reviewed by others and not picked up by me so much. But a couple of the songs that they played that I did know, the older ones, I remember from Liv Casina, and then I see this, whatever her name is, play them. And I was thinking, yeah, she's a good singer, so it makes sense for her to be in that band. Yeah. She's definitely skillful. I like her sounds. I like the way she performs it. So yeah, altogether it was a really nice show. I think they have everything that they needed to do. It was a bit sad that the place was not sold out or whatsoever. I think half filled maybe. It was. I was talking to the people from the audience before the show, and they said I think at that point they had. Was it almost 150 tickets sold? I think in the end there were some people walking in on them because I think it was a little bit more in the end. So probably some people came last minute. But yeah, it's a bit sad because this band is supposed to sort of sell out the show. But they didn't. It is what it is. So that was the first night. It was in Arnhem, Willemijn. The second night, the day after, I also went to this venue to see a completely different kind of music. And that were two bands, Autumn Kings and Cyan Kicks. And I thought, like, why not have a look what they're doing? Autumn Kings, it's very pop, rock, metal kind of formation, if you know what I mean. Very catchy. You can see it end up in the charts. Here and there they threw in some hip-hop songs, like a bit like Hacktivist would do, or some band that they were probably a big fan of, as they also did a cover of Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a clear reference. But they also did another cover, and that was kind of interesting because that song was such different from the rest of their set, and it was Ricky Martin's "Livin' La Vida Loca."
But I love that song.
Yeah. But
I don't know, it's just a perfect summer.
they immediately make me feel old with that, because the guys were saying, are there any 90 kids in this place? And I was just thinking,
yeah, here.
No, I was just thinking, oh dear, I'm an 80s kid. I'm born in the 80s, people. Because I see all these 90s people going like, yay! And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely the granny today.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing. And I must say, for this show,
But did they make it like nice in a metal way?
Yeah, it was nice, and
was it too poppy?
No, it was good, well done, I think, and also it was not just the same song speed up with a bit of metal to it. No, they actually added to it, I think. So
that's
yeah,
cool.
They did that well. But yeah, I mean, there were hardly any people in this place. The front row was filled, and then here and there, sporadically, some other people behind the venue. But like, maybe a quarter of the place got filled in the end. So, yeah, that was a bit sad, I guess. Not a lot of people for them. But this band was really like reaching out to people, and they did put a lot of people effort in making connections with the people. Like, they really came out also to take pictures with everyone, and they were handing out free stickers, and I'm like, oh, here, you have a sticker, and I'm like, okay, they're really trying to get people on board. No matter how little people there were, they were still giving it them all. So, shout out to them. And yeah, headliner Cyan Kicks. Wow, I had not really heard of them before, to be honest, but they're even more poppy metal than the band before them. But I would say it's like as if, I don't know, Lady Gaga goes metal, maybe? Because it has a very electronic sound. And then metal, like, it's not like you go into the industrial area, which you very often go if you mention the electronic, but very poppy sound. Also, so much energy. They were jumping around and, as the name suggests, kicking around. Yeah. A lot on the stage. At some point I was like, okay. Hard to keep up with you people. Yeah, there were some very fanatic fans in the front row, so it was really like interesting to see that. That song sounds like, what was it? Don't Say I Didn't Warn You or something, and Can't Get You Out of My Bed. They were like, you hear them once and you know what they are going to sing. So predictable in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
it really sets people in motion. So it's like,
sometimes our minds like predictable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah.
It's cool to see that they had the people that were there go crazy for them. Like, I saw people in the audience with the t-shirts on from the band. I spoke briefly to a few people that were in the front rows, and they were like, oh yeah, I already went to this show, and then we have like this show. They go through half Europe to see this band. They're going to Germany, to Austria, to Switzerland. Yeah, like they have a few very dedicated fans there. Yeah. Wow. And also for them, they did a cover, and that's I thought it was interesting. They did Hearts Alone, and it's a really interesting choice because it's a bit slower song that what they do, and such different sounds. And they bring it into their style, but not go completely. It was a good mix, and I was like, okay, are you going to pick that song? How is that going to work? But Yeah, it was quite okay. Interesting to see. But yeah, in the end, I think they really entertained a lot of people in the audience that came. I think there was nobody who felt sorry for being there. I think they were all, both bands were super energetic and made it happen, even if not the completely venue was filled. So good. I'm happy that I've seen them.
Yeah.
And then next, I think, is the shows from
Me?
yesterday.
Yesterday, fresh.
And since I've been talking
we're still
so
tired.
much, now it's your turn.
My turn. So, yesterday I went to De Boerderij. It's a venue in Zoetermeer, in the Netherlands, of course. And they had the Finnish von Hertzen brothers. They play some sort of alternative rock, a little bit of progressive influences there, I think. And they had a support with them, Kristoffer Gildenlöw. I think he's from Kayak, and he was also in Pain of Salvation. He played bass there, and now he left the band in 2006. He has his solo career, and he was also performing solo. The whole band was coming out of his iPad. He joked that the band had enough drinks and air to play. But somewhere during his set, the iPad stopped, or something with the music was not connecting well. So some people in the audience were laughing like, "Oh, you didn't feed your band enough." That was just a funny moment. But yeah, about his music, it's lovely music. It's I was thinking I could have brought my dad there. Just, enjoyable guitar work, lovely songs. Songs with a meaning, not just puppy songs, pop songs.
Yeah.
Lovely, but for me, after a few songs I've heard it, I think it would have been nicer in a I don't know, in a jazz bar or something, or a blues bar, for a Sunday afternoon maybe. But yeah, nothing wrong with it either, but I don't know, not my cup of tea, I think. And then the Swedish von Hertzen brothers, that I quite enjoyed. What can I say about them? I think they're existing for quite a long time. They made, I think, 9 albums by now. And this time they were touring with someone we know. They brought on drums Mikko Siren with them. And people might know him from Apocalyptica.
Yeah. I remember...
it was fun to see him.
I remember we tried to hook him up with all the other quitting band members last year in our podcast.
Yes, me too. I remember that too. But it was fun to see him, although so I've seen him with Apocalyptica years and years ago, and his drum set were getting larger and larger and larger, and now he was playing behind a tiny little drum kit, and his stool, or how do you call it, the kruk, seemed a little bit too low or something. He was, I don't know, it looked a bit odd, but it was fun, and there were definitely a lot of moments in his music where the band had nice drum solos where he could go a little bit wild, actually, which he gladly enjoyed, and the audience did too. There were a lot of moments where the audience cheered for him. And I think it's really nice because Von Hertzen Brothers is actually about the 3 brothers that are standing in the front. So that was fun. And let me jump to the next guy in the back. They had Marcus Pajakala. I have to look up for his name. And he was playing on keys, saxophone, flute, doing all the extra stuff. But really, really well. There were like a couple of nice sax solos. And I think it's really nice in their style of rock music that these things have their spotlight in between the rock songs. There's like moments where the music is a little bit more atmospheric, and then you go back to being really, rocky rhythm and nodding your head. And I think they also had a long set list. They joked that they've been to the venue a couple of times before, like 3 times already, and they always got like coffee on the table. Apparently that was very important to mention. I don't know. So. But they always liked it there, so they were playing an extra long set list. I don't know if that's true, of course, but maybe they say it everywhere. But they were playing like 17 songs. So it felt really long as well, because the songs are not like 2 or 3 minutes. Some songs are quite long, but I think the audience never lost their interest at any point in the set list. It was built up really, really well. They had like more up-tempo, more energetic songs, and then they had some slower songs, and then there was this drum solo from Miko, and then it was really, really nice. And I think they also deserved a lot more audience this evening, because there were also 150 tickets sold, I heard. I think there were maybe a few more people walked in. But to me, and I think I was also the youngest person there, and I expected a little bit more people and a little bit more younger people, because it's not like, well, how do you say that? Like, old people rock, like...
but
or maybe I'm getting old quite fast, that's also possible, but they have like nice, I don't know, their rock, they they're
maybe
I don't
also
know.
because of the venue, because the Boerderij is definitely a venue that books a lot of rock, and there's always a lot of audience there.
Older.
And
yes.
I must agree,
I think maybe
they always take good care of their guests. I mean, I've been having the pleasure to being invited for dinner twice, I think, and it's like well taken care of. These people are very hospitable. Yeah, they take care of their guests. So I can understand the comments that they were saying about the coffee, because this venue got that.
Yeah,
covered,
and they said, Yeah, definitely. And they made. I think that's what was really strong of them as well. They really invited the audience to be a part of the show, and not just talking to the audience, but also like little bit of interactions with a couple of people in the audience, and it just felt like a whole, like they put their arms around you as an audience, and they welcomed you in their little world of music. Which I quite liked. And then there were also a couple of Finnish people in the audience, and then someone shouted Helvetin biisi, and then he was like, oh, I have to translate this, and I was like, yeah, well, I do know what it means. Hell of a song. So that was kind of funny. Yeah, it was a really good show. They never lost my interest in 17 songs. And I think they deserved a lot more audience. Yeah.
Hopefully next time people get to know them. I think they need to do a bit more festivals in the Netherlands then. So like people can, that haven't heard of them before can easily get introduced to it.
But they're not really like a radio band. I think. And they're also not really, I don't know, I don't think they do a lot of promotion of themselves. So I think the people that are coming to the shows are, they know the band. They were singing each song from start to finish. and maybe that's also why it felt like standing in the audience. It felt like being a part of the band. Actually,
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
So yeah, if you like a good dose of rock with a little bit of progressive influences, yeah, check them out. They're really good. They know how to build the songs. They're interesting and fun to watch. So yeah.
That's that. Then back to me with the show that I went to yesterday.
Also yesterday.
Yeah. 4 bands I've seen in, yes, once again, Willemijn Arnhem. I feel like I'm...
Do they already offer you a bed? Or?
No. In fact, when I was about to leave, I was putting on my sweater because you can park really close by, so I never take a jacket in there. This guy came up to me like, yeah, excuse me, but we like to close in 10 minutes. I'm like, yep, I'm already on my way out. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to chase you out, but like, I have to. And they're not really closing. They have an evening program, so they want everyone out. But
yeah.
But I definitely, I've been talking to them a little bit more. Also before the show, because sometimes communication between tour manager, bands, and a venue is disruptive. So then you have to wait a little bit until that gets sorted out. So I waited a couple minutes. Then I was talking to them, and they were like, "Oh no, don't worry, it happens sometimes." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, no worries." And then they told me like, I was like, "Yeah, I was here like really early, so I could find a good spot in the front." Because Gothminister, you kind of want to be a bit close, I guess. And I was literally the first person to enter the building. And they were like,
"That's called being on time."
Yeah, I wasn't queuing like an hour in advance or something. I literally came 5 minutes before the doors opened. But hey, yeah. So I was looking inside, and they were like, "Oh yeah, only 20 people came in. Why? There's not really full." And I'm like, "Whoa, is it? Do you not expect much more people?" No, it's not gonna be too crowded, I guess. I didn't ask for the amount of tickets sold this time, but like I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Yeah, the last time I saw them in Zoetermeer, there was this huge storm, and there were really not a lot of people back then. So I hope it gets a little bit full." And they were talking about like that they were trying to bring the dark wave gothic sound back to Arnhem a little more, to have it hooked more of this genre and such. So they were talking a little bit about that. And then I went in because they said, "Oh yeah, we found the missing link." So I went inside. Of course, I still found a very nice place in the front, so no worries. And we started with this band called Dam to Alma or something. I think they were from Switzerland, and what can I say? I think their sound was quite good, but very generic. And I remember at the end, I was thinking, wow, they don't really have like one song that stands out or stays in mind. So I was thinking a bit like they have to kind of make such a song or have it in their set or whatever, because this is just one of those half hours that you're watching and you're completely forgetting about them like as soon as the next band is on. And that's a pity, because what they were doing was skillfully enough, I think. If they compose a song that sticks in mind with people, they can really grab the audience. But somehow they didn't do that right now. So, yeah. Second band, Morphium. I don't remember where they're from. Spain, possibly. Super energetic. Bit more towards death metal, I think. So it was like the heaviest band of the day, so to say. yeah, they were really coming up close to the audience, which was getting a little bit more crowded now, luckily. Yeah, it was interesting to see because it's such a different band. They're such odd one between the Gothminister sounds. Because obviously Gothminister is a lot more dark rock, goth sounds, and then you have this metal sound. And I heard people say like, oh wow, this is really not my genre, but it was quite okay actually. So I think they succeeded with that. But also for them, I didn't hear a song that I can still remember. You know, what they were doing was okay. They are skillful. They have, they have generic sound, an active performance. They're coming up close, making contact with the audience. They have all that going, but they're lacking something that I remember.
Yeah,
and that's a pity. But never mind. I didn't mind seeing them. It was okay. I think in the end, the set, because there was nothing special about it, was maybe a bit too long for my taste. I'm like, yeah, now I know what you're up to. Either give me something that stands out, or you can go do something else. But hey, it was cool. I had a couple of people next to me that were like super enthusiastic, and they were like headbanging like crazy and singing the songs along. So they were probably along for some other dates already. So yeah, that was nice. And then we get to the Swiss band Stoneman. And of course, I already recently shared an anecdote about me and Stoneman and their the history we have with them as Templars. And yeah, it was good to see them again. All their songs were German. I know they have a couple in English, but I think they were never the biggest success apart from The Devil in the Gucci Dress, but which they did not play. Yeah. And then I was thinking, okay, there were obviously some Germans in the audience because Arnhem isn't that far from Germany.
No.
The girl next to me was screaming like crazy and singing all the songs along in German, so I think she probably came from there as well. Yeah. I must say I was positively surprised. I like to see how they are performing now. You can really see they've been growing through the years. Do I say, did I like it? Maybe not, but that's... I don't know. Also a bit of the background. I don't really connect that much to the German songs so much, so to say. I remember back in the days they already had this song, Wer ficken will, which they played also towards the ends. And for those who do not know any German, it means who wants to fuck. So they came up, there was this girl that was helping them out during the show that came with some jar of ink, makeup, whatever. And she was giving the guys a dot on the forehead. And they were like, it's a sign that if you want to fuck or something. And she walked up to the front row. And the first person she was going to was me. And I was like, no. I was like, no. I literally took like 2 steps back, like, no. So she was like,
not me, sorry.
So she was dotting some of the people around me, and then when the band was playing the song, and I was just thinking like, oh god, no, hell no. So after the song, these guys were like, and if you're having this dot on your head, you can get a free t-shirt that says we're Fickenville. And I was thinking like, thank God I didn't get that. I do not need that t-shirt. No. But like the other people run towards the merch to get it. So I guess people really liked the idea of that. You should have seen the girl next to me, which was screaming loudly.
Was like, really happy.
Oh dear. I think she probably went after it because I didn't see her after the Stoneman set anymore. So she might have been lucky tonight. I don't know.
With her dot on her head. Yeah, well.
It's easy, like...
Easy target for the band.
Yeah, but on the other hand...
Sorry.
The target get chosen by a female, so...
Yeah, well, maybe she knows what they like.
I wonder what they thought when they saw me being so very aggressively like, no. No! Yeah, cheeky guys. I didn't see them afterwards. I didn't bother to look for them either, so... Good. Yeah. Gothminister. Yay! So. Deadliner. Yeah, like most of Gothminister's shows come with a lot of theater. Like then there's him with a mask and another mask and this and that. And I think I already mentioned in the previous show, today was not one of those days. I think with the last album, he definitely had some decorum on the stage and such, and he had some...
Did he, like, last time he had, like, lasers on his...
he did have those. He did have those, but he didn't bring out, like, 6 or 7 different costumes. And also...
Traveling lights.
Also, one thing that was always very essential for the Gothminister show was missing. The stairs!
The stairs? They
were not there! Like... What?
Maybe they listened to you last time saying it's always there. Yeah. And then he thought, yeah, well, maybe we should mix it up.
Who knows? Yeah. I think this set was very much targeted on their last album. A lot of catchy songs, as you know, from Gothminister. Typical their songs, I think. And this last album, I have it in my car, so I naturally have listened to it quite a bit. So I know all these songs. So it was good to see them. I think I liked that they choose to perform more the songs, and rather than going from one theater into the other. I kind of like this. It was still a full-on Gothminister show. And the funny thing is, we started with, 20 people for the first band or so. And when I turned around, the venue was pretty much full. It wasn't, maybe not sold out, but like, definitely a good amount of people. And some familiar faces from other Gothminister shows and from the goth scene in the Netherlands. So to say, I spotted the girls from Asrai, so to say. They were also in Zoetermeer back then. So I think they're or friends even. They probably were on tour together, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And it was good to see a lot of familiar faces in the audience. Everyone was dancing, having fun. And I like that because I think this was the first night of this Dark Wave initiative that they did an actual big show with. I don't know, maybe they had some dancing nights before, if I might have seen that on the bill, but to do it this way, I think it was good to see it being a success after all. That's definitely nice to see. And yeah, Gothminister, I like it for them as well that they have a bit bigger audience again, considering that Zoetermeer wasn't the greatest night that I remember from them. As in amount of audience, the show was amazing. So yeah. I liked their show. They also announced towards the end that they had a new single out, which is Monsters. I think the Monsters single is 20 years or something. So they kind of made a remake of it, sort of to honor the birthday of Monsters. But today we were hearing the original, he said. So people were liking that, of course. But if I listen to and see the response of the audience, I think Monsters is not anymore that song of Gothminister, They have plenty of other songs which reach that level as well. It wasn't like, sometimes you go to a show and when that one hit song gets placed, that's when the audience goes in and the rest of the songs people are enjoying it but not going crazy for it. and then but that song comes,
Yeah.
it all goes. But for the Gothminister, it was a good energy through the whole set. I think that's nice to see that they stepped out of that. Even 20 years later, they still produce these songs that hit their audience well. So yeah, a very good night for Gothminister.
Nice.
Yeah.
2 good nights.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that bands think a bit better about which band they take on the road. Though, because I feel take a band that at least somehow is connected to your own sound. Because it's sad to see a band like Morphium play there eagerly, and then a lot of people are there like, yeah, it's not my genre, really. It's okay, but it's not my genre, so I probably will never listen to it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand the business point of view as well, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That was our long talk about our live shows this
Gigs
past 2
and
weeks.
shows.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we're already 45 minutes in. So let's move on then to the next part where we discuss an album. And
Yes.
for this time, I chose the album of Imperial Triumphant, and the album is called Gold Star. It's about to release next week. If you're listening to this, it will be a couple of days since towards the release date. Yeah, the band is from New York. A very heavy death metal kind of sound with a little bit of wave of avant-garde. And that's exactly what I like about it, because I've seen this band before live also. And I prefer the avant-garde when it comes to black metal. I really like the sound of that into the blackness. But this band also has this black death sound that makes it different. It's not per se typical black. It's more death, I think, rather than black. So yeah, the album itself, Gold Star. I must say the first couple of songs I really liked. I was like, yes, this is the stuff I like. I like the energy, goes crazy. Towards the end, I think halfway they have a couple of short tracks in between there that are a bit strange. And after that, they kind of don't grab my attention that much. So it's the first couple of songs were for me going like, yes, I like, this is what I like about them, you know? And the second half I was like, I mean, it's fun to listen to, but it's kind of, the energy doesn't return or something.
It's kind of funny.
How did you experience that then?
Well, I already thought you would like it. I, on the other hand, well, I read it's like avant-garde, and that it was not written for everybody out there. I think I'm too simple for this. For me, when I listen to this album, there's like in every song, there is so much going on so many different layers, that I don't know what to listen to. There's not like a clear melody or something, or not a build up to anything. It just continues. And then there's like, I think, was it the song, was it Lexington Delirium or something? There's like 1 minute 30 of intro.
Yeah, that was...
And there's nothing happening to me. And after like 30 or 40 seconds, I get lost. There's, I don't know. And then at other moments, there's so much happening at the same time. For example, the song, it's called Pleasure Dome with Dave Lombardo and Thomas Hake.
That was weird.
It's a weird song. There's so much happening. There is like an egg shaker, but really in the foreground. Then there is Dave Lombardo on the drums. And then there's like a couple layers. There's like a jazzy or bluesy bass plucking going on. Like, hey, I've been listening to bluesy and I want to put it in this record. Let's put it in there. But it doesn't sound like it
belongs
to the song. And then there's guitars coming in, and I don't know, my mind is lost. Maybe I have listened to this album like 600 times before you will appreciate it, or maybe I'm just one of those people that, I don't know, complicated music, I don't know, not for me. And then there's what you say, there's two 1 minute songs. Like one is Gold Star, that's like, I don't know, we put on a speaker with an old record, making it very vintage, and that's 1 minute, like Gold Star, yeah, Gold Star, okay, that's the name of your album, but it doesn't connect to the rest of the album for me, true. So I find it a little weird. And then the other song, that's New York City, to me, it feels like we were in the rehearsal studio, we practiced one of the other songs, and we were going to play the other one, but we just keep on jamming, we recorded it sounds a kind of fun minute. Let's put it on the album. We never play it again, but it was fun. It's there. For me, it sounds like that. Yeah. There is it just sounds like we were in between songs and we kept on jamming a little bit, you know? There's no singing, there's no... And that's the album to me. There's definitely interesting things happening, but for me, it's overwhelming. I don't know. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
In a way, there's so much happening, but there's also nothing happening for me to get hooked on the songs.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think especially the first tracks where the avant-garde is really there at its best. I think it I think it's something you really need to grow into to listen to that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's and then it felt to me like they were making sort of 2 EPs and they had to put something in there to connect it or something. But yeah, maybe the label was pushing, we need an album, so they were just like, here it is, just take these 2 EPs and do something with it. Yeah, that's how it feels like to me.
Yeah,
it feels like 2 different things in a way.
Yeah, I can get that. Like the first 4 songs and then the last 3 songs, they sound like they can fit together a little bit, I have to say. But and then it's kind of funny because I had to think of another band, and it doesn't sound like this, but I had to think of Tesseract.
Yeah. Can understand what you're saying.
With just the bass thingies. I don't know. And the complexity, maybe. There's like, I don't know. I had to think of Tesseract. Not that it sound like Tesseract at all, but I don't know.
No, but like, the way of thinking when composing a little bit, I think. Yeah. Makes sense. I think they also mentioned in one of the info that I received that they will do something with the live shows and having new masks, because this is one of those bands that performs with masks. I think... personally, one of the better masked bands that I've seen. So, yeah, looking forward. But for me, the whole masked and the fandom around that is beyond me. So I don't care too much what kind of mask they were wearing. It can be all fun and play, but if the songs are not great, then no, I think. From what I've seen from them before in live shows, the first 4 songs on this album would be great live, and the other ones are the ones that I don't see them bringing very successfully into a set so much. So yeah, I mean I did like the album as a whole, in the sense that it has enough interesting parts for me, but to say that it is one thing that really connects to each other, no, not so much. as individual songs, I can appreciate them, but that's about it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen them on my list. I know that they're coming to Europe in August. I think the halfway, the 15th or so, 15th August in Utrecht, Decibels, if you guys want to see them live in the Netherlands. Some days in
Decibels? Yeah. That's like a tiny venue.
No, they have a different venue right now. They moved. It's still tiny, but it's a bit different. And yeah, I think a lot of German dates are surrounding that, so people check out their Facebook and find a date near you to see them live. I would recommend you people, if you're into that avant-garde sound, to check out the album. I think you need to be prepared to listen to it a couple times. Do also be prepared for a bit of brutality, straight from the beginning. If you don't like that, maybe listen to the album from the last song towards the first song. That might be one hack.
Well, one thing I just remind that for me, listening to a couple of those songs that are like the songs, maybe, also the sound of the vocals are like sort of, for me, halfway buried into the music, so you don't really hear it as well. It fades a little. And I think I just like bands where you can, I don't know, hear the vocals a little bit more. And I think they're nice and well. And maybe they could have been a little bit more thicker or grittier on top of the... Because now, for me, it fades into the chaos.
Yeah, I think for me that kind of comes a little bit with the genre. And like I said, if you hear that album a couple times, you will feel you get it better.
Yeah. You will.
That's why I tell people it's an album that you will need to spin a couple times.
Definitely.
That's for sure. So don't be afraid to rearrange the track list if you have a different feeling about how this album should
put Gold Star on the first one. That's the intro. Yeah. I can see that being the opening for a summer festival. Yeah.
True. And the New York City one is perfectly if they need to change their mask or go to the toilet in between. Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly.
Or if you need to poop, run. Put New York City on, run, and then be back in time. No, all joking besides. I like the album, but I can understand that people need to rearrange things a little bit into it. I really do want to see it live because like I said, I can see those first couple songs do great live, and do also match very well with the previous releases that they've done. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that for Imperial Triumphant. I really want to know how our listeners like this album, so leave us a comment if you had the opportunity to hear it. It will be out on the 21st of March, so let us know.
Yes.
All right. I didn't find any special news. No,
me neither.
So, I have also been busy going to shows, so I didn't scroll too much on the onlines. So let's skip on that. What do we have more? We have an Ikigai. Yes, I do. I've been working very, very hard on the new layouts, and I think I might just put that online somewhere this week, and then I will...
Exciting!
I will make some adjustments to it after this being live. But is ready enough to throw it on the front page, I guess.
Cool.
And then if I'm just gonna do some testing, how people like it, and adjust from there, because what's the point in keeping it behind all the time? So yeah, that made me happy. I had some time to finally follow up on that stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
What made you happy this week? What made you happy?
I don't know, just yesterday.
Yeah, can imagine.
The gig. And I sent out some prints from photos.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Seeing them in my, printed out.
I think people should realize that either Elvira and me have photos that you can order prints of, So, if you see us photographing a band you like and you want that print, just reach out to us and we'll sell you a print. Instagram is a very good way of finding us, so let us know if you're interested. Yeah.
So yeah, that made me happy because I had I never printed it as big as I did. Yeah. So that was kind of fun to see. And then some other people had tinier prints.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, and then the gig yesterday, although I felt the old one out there, the youngest.
Who cares?
But it was really nice, because I think the last time I photographed was the beginning of next month. So I really needed... I needed to photograph.
Yeah. What's next for us then? I mean, I will be going to Dark Mantle next week.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have a lot of energy and have everything that I need to be doing before that arranged, I might go into the Willemijn Cafe on Wednesday. But I'll be driving off to Copenhagen the day after, so probably I need to be making sure that I really have
a little bit of
everything
rest.
Arranged. But those evenings end early, so it's not that much of a big deal, but... It's more like I need to pack up stuff and leave my garden in good hands and arrange that my house is taken care of. So people know that I'm a Dark Mantle, but my house is not home alone. So that's... Yeah. And for the rest, I don't know yet. I guess maybe after that I take a little bit of a break. And I guess we'll see. Next episode we have a whole festival to talk about, so we'll be alright.
Yeah, and I will be going somewhere too, so yeah, enough to talk about.
Perfect. Alright. What did we have on the playlist this week? Well, obviously the Imperial Triumphant.
Yes.
Let's see, what else did I have to listen to? Because I got a lot of promos in. I don't really know where I left them at the moment. Oh yeah. Here, I have one stack.
Which pile?
Yeah, I have a couple of stacks here and there. And I realized I don't know where everything is. I have also received...
Organized chaos.
I also received a comic book.
Oh.
And I've seen more and more bands coming with these comic books. And I have not been reading comics since I was a little child, I guess. Which was probably Donald Duck. Or something like that. Or Penny. Probably Penny. So this is really out of my knowledge.
League.
But
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna look into it and see what that is about.
Yeah.
I have received a couple of promos from Fastball Music. Crypto, the Dark Rainbows, something like that. Whatever it's called. Verheld and The Light.
The light. The light
Oh
in
yeah,
darkness.
and there's this Canadian band. It's ridiculous. They've been writing me emails like, oh, if you want to, please review. And then I got also from a promoter. And they were like, we can send you, let us know if you want a physical copy. And I'm like, oh, I never really do that. You either send it to me or you don't. Because I get like hundreds of promos. So if I have to ask for it first. Today, or actually yesterday when I came home after the show, I found myself an envelope with the physical promo! All the way from Canada. I guess they really, really, really want me to write about it. So that will have to happen. I will make an effort to do that. So, Giraffe, if you're listening to this, I will take care of your review.
Woohoo! Succeeded!
Yay! But that's what's coming up. I mean, I haven't listened to it just yet, so that's not completely supposed to be on my playlist. But I completely forgot what else I've been playing this week. So I also had some other things to do at work where people had deaf relatives. So I was there all by myself and had to arrange a lot of things. And I was even so...
Now I hear Celine Dion in my head. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry for that. Yeah.
I will not burst out in
because,
all by myself. But
yeah. Yeah. Don't. Yeah, but
don't.
That kind of confused me and stressed me out a little bit because there was so much needed to be done, and also I had quite a bit at home going on to do. That I even at some point forgot to bring my phone to work, so I'm like...
How?
Yeah. So I'm there, sitting there, and I can't even listen to music. Oh dear.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Full day of that. Yeah.
So...
Well, I don't know what I've been listening to as well the last 2 weeks.
Oh.
I'm really thinking, like, what did I... Well, of course, what we discussed, but... And I've been listening into Van Hertzen Brothers a little bit, like... What was it? What else? Just, I think... I don't know. I did listen to music, but maybe not something intentional, like putting an album on or something. Just, like... bits and pieces from left to right, from up and I don't know. Yeah. Huh? Nothing worth mentioning that.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. Well, I will be spending a lot of hours in my car next week, so I have to put a lot of promos on my car playlist. Then next week I have a list
You'll be busy.
to present you.
A long list. But we also have so many live shows to discuss.
Yeah, this will be a longer episode, probably.
Or 2.
Nah, we just go on and on.
On and on and on.
No, we won't do that. We won't go too crazy, but... we'll definitely have stuff to talk about when I return.
Yes. But that's next time. For now, we're kind of done, I think. And there is one or two things at the end of every episode where we say, just please follow us, comment, like, subscribe, send us some love, find our Instagrams.
Definitely. Buy our pictures.
With our photos.
Buy our pictures.
Elvira Miran photo, and where can we find you with your pictures?
On Templars. I don't put any pictures on my private page, but anything you find on Templars, you can write us a message about. And if you don't know where to find Elvira, you can also just write to Templars, and I will forward it happily to Elvira. So that's that. Last thing,
and then
the most
last thing,
important thing of every episode.